1-minute gun. And again, they're going to have to watch out for getting too close. Winning group Tech 2, you wouldn't want to be any closer than that with 1 minute to go. No, down this end of the line, it's Smeg. We're expecting them to be competitive in a second race. Plenty of good horsepower on board that boat. Kitchenmaker flying through across the top of them, trying to get down the other end of the line. Vintech down with us here, which is nice to see them back on the race course. The Planters on liner here with Royal Oak and Ilve. But I think it's all going to be about the left end of the line. We are positioned right down the line. We can see the pin. We'll give you the best judgment we can. We're not sure we're going to be able to get a drone shot for you, but you can see it pretty clearly from the camera shot we've got for you here, and we've got less than 30 seconds to go. We can see Finport and Winning Group down there. I can see Tech 2 managing to do quite a nice little hovering in good position. Just to the right of your picture, you can see Birkenhead Point Marina.
7.
With 5 seconds to go, Finport and Winning Group looking great. Tech 2 looking a little bit behind the 8 ball here. Birkenhead Point Marina nicely positioned. And they're down the left end of the line. That is a clear start.
Just okay.
The call from the race officer is everybody is clear. No second start on a black flag, so nobody has to get flicked out. Up here at the committee boat, Ilve having to tap right on the committee boat. And we got John Winning on camera. He's the second most right-hand boat. He's a long way behind the left-hand boats with the amount of bias there is. There's a load of bias, that's for sure, but you've still got it out the left-hand corner. Boats in the middle that can hold a lane. Out of the right of the picture, you can see Shaw and Partners. They can still have a say in how this beat plays out. But up at the hard left end, it's looking like Winning Group are owning the pin with a cracking start. Finport just up to windward of them. Tech 2 and Birkenhead Point Marina and Shaw and Partners all in really good shape. And a little bit further back, Kitchenmaker and Smeg and Notes Blue and Vintech. They've all got plenty of work to do here. They're nowhere near Bradley's. Bit of a left shift here, Bucko, isn't it? How did this change strategically when you're this far away from Bradley's? How's this going to play out?
Well, the runway gets shorter, doesn't it? It shortens it by 400 or 500 metres, but the effect of the header is more pronounced, so the gain to the leeward boat tends to be actually greater. And you'll see that, Winning Group's got enough room here to tack and cross.
So Winning Group really putting the squeeze on here. They've got that position. They're forcing people to sail high, slow, and Finport tacks away. First one out. Are they going to cross your end? They are clean across. Across Birkenhead Point Marina. Not a massive amount here, but you can see there, just to the right of Tech 2. There they are. Nice camera shot there. They're clear across. Keegan York will be pretty happy. He's got himself out of this corner. This corner can get ugly. But out ahead of us, Winning Group is... The boat started most pin end. They're carrying on all the way into the lee of Bradley's. They mustn't go too far because at some point, Bucko, they run out of breeze.
Yeah, no, and a nice conservative tack. Good.
And there they go.
Yeah.
So Winning Group are getting out of the corner. They'll be clear across. They had the best start. Sail the first part of the beat very nicely. They go across in first place. Boat handling looking pretty good today, actually, Bucko. We haven't seen anything remotely shocking, and 1 or 2 really, really nice tacks.
Yeah, it's not the easiest day with a water bump, but over this side, not too bad, obviously. But, let's wait till we go up the second beat.
Yes, I agree. And let's look at the Barroway. The Barroway is going to be just a little bit challenging and a food for thought, the Barroway. I'd say they didn't really think about it last race. I think today there'll be a little bit of a chat on board about making sure everybody's in the right place for the Barroway. Enough things that could go wrong. So there's Birkenhead Point Marina just doing a little duck on the Royal Oak. To windward, there's Shaw and Partners, probably in about 5th position. Our leader still Winning Group. The very top of your picture, you might just see the blue hull and the black sails on starboard, crossing URM now. That is your leader, Winning Group. So Jack McCartney is laying, give or take. Winning Group are tacking onto starboard on ley line. URM look like they've done really well here. Look like they're clear across Tech 2 and actually close right up onto Winning Group. To the right, didn't do badly, but I think URM just sailing well too. URM look like they're nicely in range on this rig. And Marcus Ashley-Jones, he hasn't been super competitive this year. A lot of stop-start crew changes. And of course, he had that big smash and bang with the Winning Group a couple of weeks ago. But today, looking extremely comfortable and quick. There, round the top mark for the first time, is your leader. That's the Winning Group. Sailed a very nice first leg, but have been caught up a little bit at the top of this mark. Second round is going to be URM, who swapped positions with Tech 2, so not a massive difference in distance, but probably a gain to URM of about 5-6 boat lengths in total. Bear away to URM, a little bit more of a bow in there, not quite as polished as Winning Group, but perfectly safe. More of a boat handling test for Tech 2, who've just done attack. Now they have to do a bearaway, marginally down speed, but no problems for those guys. That's your 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Smeg on starboard. Kitchen Maker coming in fast, hot, out of the clouds, out of the sun on port. Got to execute a high tariff manoeuvre.
Shore and Partners overlaid.
And bearaway set. Del Zotto coming in nice and comfortable. Nice ease jib. Plenty of space. Here we go, Kitchen Maker. Have you got the skills? Good job, lads. Great job by Kitchen Maker. That is not an easy manoeuvre. Next round go Del Zotto.
Shore and Partners, wow.
Shore and Partners did an also really tough bit of boat handling, which might come to bite them. The bearaway's looking ugly, but I reckon Doro's going to eventually sort that out. Bretman Munster takes the inside line. That'll do nicely. And there's Birkenhead, Point Marina. Super competitive first part of this beat, but fallen off the edge a little bit in the second half. Vet Heritage on Noakes Blue. Up with the mid-pack and the nice little bearaway. Ooh, that hoist could get tricky. She's super deep on the hoist. And she controls it nicely. Well done, Yvette, a Royal Oak Hotel. Next back, and then behind them, Ilvi, Rag and Famish, Yandu, and the Queensland boat. That is your whole fleet. Everybody's upright. No swimmers at the top mark, though, Bucko, but that's only going to get harder, the top mark, isn't it, next time round, and maybe a bit more seaway.
Yeah, it's got that look about it, but a fair bit of that seaway is powerboat wash.
Yeah, true.
You know, you just don't know. But they can be big and they can be dangerous.
It's getting fresh enough now. You have to think about the jibes as well. We're up in the sort of 17, 18 knots now. Occasional puffs are slightly more, so it's well within the kind of range of these sailors and these rigs, but not a lot of time to make a mistake. That's for sure. You can definitely turn the boat over at this point in time if you get it wrong. Del Zotto, they'll be jibing in about 40 seconds. We'll stay nice and close to them, see how they go. Tech 2 got her jibe away as well, and Smeg are just jibing now. They're going to be fine. And we're going to watch Del Zotto here. There's a bit of waves, a few waves from us, but much bigger waves from other passing boats. So they're going to have to work out how to do this. Here's Del Zotto with all the rest of the fleet inside deciding to go. Del Zotto goes now.
So, Mark, if you watch that, a Smeg, a safety first jibe where they hold the windward sheet on, hold the old sheet on.
Yeah, just
quite a long time.
That was off camera. Just talk us through the Smeg jibe. We're watching Del Zotto right now and the rest of the jibes. Just talk us through what Smeg did, because that looked a bit unusual. There is a capsize behind us, but that was a collision just behind us, actually just there. Birkenhead, Point Marina, and Vintech. Did they actually lock horns, or they're getting each other's way there, Bucko?
No, Vintech was on starboard, and the other guys jibed and didn't really have enough space. So
yeah, that was just behind us, just off camera.
Wow, bit of traffic.
It's nice and busy out here on the harbour. Appliances on line we're keeping our eyes on, and Shore and Partners, whilst all that hectic stuff was going on, Shore and Partners just jibed out using their experience well before the rest, kept it cool and calm, and they're hammering through this fleet. Just briefly on that jibe of Smeg's, Bucko, tell us what happened.
Well, they're in a bit of bumpy water and plenty of wind, and so they just go through the jibe and don't try to execute anything on the chute until you're through the jibe fully, and some of the weight's on the windward wing, and then they just sort of flick the clue around the front of the jib. So that they do that, they're getting some forward force out of the chute with it on the wrong side, eased a little bit on the wrong side, and that stabilises the flow over the foils and tends to, take the bow down from them having to turn the boat up to get the mainsail across.
So full safety jibe, basically.
Yep.
So Kitchen Maker.
Oh, big
we got a capsize behind us. Del Zotto, while we're talking about Smeg and doing a safety jibe. Noakes Blue's a swimmer. Del Zotto's a swimmer. We were saying that it's just starting to get fruity enough. You have to think twice about what you do. Well, it includes going in a straight line as well. There are some really big waves here in the middle of the harbour. The wind is getting up. It's wind against tide, that's for sure.
Yeah, we just went through a big set of cruiser waves.
Yeah.
So.
The picture might go on a little bit funny there for a second. We might have some water on the screen. It went through some big waves. The same problem the skiffs are having. We have two boats capsized, almost one after the other. Went bow down into some big cruiser waves, also accentuated by the tide. That's two of our fleet just flipped. And down the bottom mark, we can just see in the distance. I can bring you up to date. It's the winning group who are about to go around the bottom mark. They still lead. They're still upright. Second is going to be a very close battle between Tech 2, who look like they've gone back into the lead, just jibed inside URM. But all the boat handling is becoming quite high tariff. above all else, Bucko, I think it's the waves, isn't it, as much as the wind here? But this is a lot harder than it was only 5 minutes ago. As Kitchen Maker wants to get round, she'll come up behind us, just off our transom. There's Kitchen Maker with Point Pipe in the background, and Shaw and Partners steaming in behind her. We'll try and get inside rights, if possible. Maybe not quite overlap, but inside line for Shaw and Partners. Next Plants is online. And to an extent, just doing a tidy rounding here is not a bad bit of sailing, because it all gets a bit hectic down here. This is the bottom mark for the first time, and of course the last time. It's just one more beat and then a run back down to the finish, and that will be race 2 and the racing over for the day. So about another 20 minutes action of 80-foot skiff racing from Sydney Harbour for you to watch wherever you are positioned right now. Breeze is up a little bit, as we said. It is bumpy, particularly in the middle of the course. Not so much where we are here down at the bottom, but in the middle, properly bumpy. That's what caused all the drama. And we're looking
Big
at
problem
Royal
on
Oak.
Ilvy after we just rounded our left. They're
Ilvy
going
about
for
to
a
swim here, Jimmy.
Yeah, we'll stay with Royal Oak. They're just having a swim.
Yeah, just off to the off camera, there's Ilvy just approaching the bottom mark. Things got a little ugly with their drop. They've gone for a swim, so that's another boat that's upside down. Back with the fleet, back with the boats that are the right way up, which is still the majority. Now we've had 4 or 5 capsizes. One caused by port and starboard, just pre-jibe. 2 caused just by a nasty sea pattern. Another one caused by a bottom mark rounding that didn't go quite right. But most of the rest are fine. How much breeze here, Bucko? What's your read on conditions?
Yeah, I mean 18, and a little bit more probably at Bradley's. Pretty much, in line with the ECMW model.
Yeah, it's a proper grown-up northeasterly now, isn't it? It's a nice thing to behold. It's a lovely thing to see.
Yeah.
Proper breeze developing.
The funnel, as we say, is operating, mate.
It is operating, but this is what these rigs and these boats are designed to do.
And just if you look ahead, the winning group just got smacked up at the headland. Wow. And they're in the Catabatic, and they're about to go in the tide.
Just off the bow, nice pick, and they're in the water. Winning group have capsized in there. Bucko, was that just a tack, or was that the vacuum in the corner?
No, vacuum and a little squirt.
So they just went too far in the end.
Correct.
So the big picture story here, Jack McCartney on Tech 2 tacked well before the vacuum in the corner. He's off and gone, middle of the harbour. He's now our leader. No. In second place is now Marcus Astridos in URM. He saw what happened to winning group. He tacked well before that. Smegger in third place, and the winning group are still capsized. They tried to do a quick right, but that didn't work. They've capsized back the other way. So right now they're in a world of trouble off that corner. Let's hope they can sort themselves out. They get run over by a speedboat, but that is the end of their threat to win this race, unless a lot more carnage happens in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a world of pain there for the reason they got hit by and typically it's pretty catabatic down the hillside. They got hit by a big squirt that caused them to be well tipped over, and that disturbed their tack, and they couldn't tack soon enough to get out.
But as leading boat, Bucko, going into Bradley's Point, why would they have gone that far? What caused that? Ultimately, that is an error, but what was their thinking? Why didn't they tack well before?
Well, because there's always sort of going to be had, up to a certain dotted line that's invisible,
So a bit of a covering tack from Tech 2, got no interest in letting URM off the hook.
No.
You may as well just sit on top of them. And now you're going to see all 3 boats. There's Tech 2 on the left of your screen, URM in the middle, and just about to appear out of the right of your screen, there is Smeg. We'll just give you a chance to see where all 3 are. It's about a 5 boat length delta between URM and Tech 2, no more than 6 to 7 back to Smeg. Any one of these 3 can win the race. Behind them, Shaw and Partners, and then 4 Pines. And further back, well, you've got to have almost a set of binoculars, but it's Appliances Online and it's Kitchen Maker. I doubt any of those 3 are going to be in the top 3 unless our leaders have a big falling over style or technical problem. It's somewhere between these top 3 as to who's going to win this race. We're now about halfway up this beat. We are to the left-hand side of the beat still, and Bucko, it's the same issue. Are they going to tack back to the left, or are they going to minimise the tacks and just try and go from side to side? What would you do if you were the skipper?
I'm going hard left again.
You're going to keep tacking?
Yeah, I am.
I'll tell you what,
At
boys,
least
I don't think Smeg's seen the ferry just
One.
here to your right-hand side.
He would have seen it.
Yeah, I think Mick
They've
is
all
having a
lowered
little look.
himself on the hooks. There you go. That was
Nice call, Jimmy. There is the bow appearing.
he didn't see it. A panic look on all three crew members just then. What was that?
I think if you hear a siren followed by a tat, you know they didn't see it. That wasn't planned, but funny enough, it's forced them back to the left, which is what Bucko was saying is where you got to go anyway.
Have a look at the tidal wave of this powerboat. What a mug.
So here's our three leaders again. There is Smeg in third position. On a bow is our leader Tech 2 going over a massive bit of wash from a passing power yacht.
That's disgraceful, Mark. That is absolutely disgraceful.
What, the boat or the wash or just going through there?
The wash.
Yeah, of all places they could have gone, not there. There's a powerboat travelling at that just above displacement speed that kicks up the biggest wash in the world. We're just going to hammer through it ourselves.
Quickest way and the smoothest way for us to get through
that
is to
good,
slow down and gun it.
But that was a 55-footer doing about 14 knots.
Yeah,
exactly
the worst speed possible. That's something one day we'll do a video to powerboats, which is these are the two speeds you can go at. Displacement or planing, and preferably nothing in between, but that's a story for another day. Back to our race course. Here we have the three leaders in front of us, all going hard left, and they're all going to start to think about lay line. They're not going to be on a lay yet, but another couple of tacks, they will be lay, and they mustn't make the mistake of overstanding. Remember, we talked to you about the fact the top mark is not as far up as it was on race one. It is a much closer affair. You don't want to do a big overlay, and every time I look at wind, Bucko, it looks a click windier. I think the bearway and trying to tack and bearway at the top mark could be seriously expensive.
I think they're all overstood almost anyway.
Yep.
Well, tied under, it is an issue. The overstanding is an issue here.
No, these guys are just right up on the ley line, I think. Wouldn't be too worried. But the bearaway is certainly be testing now. It's
here goes Smeg tacking in across. Look at the seaway they're trying to cross in. That's caused by that passing motorboat that Bucko was talking about a second ago. A really tough tack. I think Mika did a great job there. That was not easy at all. All three of them trying to tack the boat in this horrible cross sea. But they got away with that. They're still in this race.
Give the points there to Big Pete Harris.
Yeah, after that, so the bowman does have an awful lot to do with how these good tacks happen. Yep. But you've got to have a good exit angle between the three of them. Lovely job of boat handling. Any one of these three can win this race. All it takes is the tiniest of errors, a not good hoist, exiting the wrong angle, one iffy jibe, and this could go any way you like. And just talking to you just for a second about the rest of the fleet. The rest of the fleet, they're not too far back. They're probably 30 to 45 seconds, and Appliances Online and Shaw and Partners and Kitchen Maker and then Royal Oak. That's the four who are in the group just behind our lead three. If these three get themselves in a bit of a cluster, then one of those other three boats could come into play. But for now, your top three is the same as you see right in front of you. Tech 2, Smeg and URM.
Yeah, I don't think URM's done themselves any favours by getting into the middle of the creek here. They've got a difficult ley line to pick. Smeg is slightly overstood at the present time.
That's going to be the boat handling challenge for them, Bucko. But if URM can nail the ley line from there, they come in on a nice, proper, slightly fat lay without any last-minute tacks. From a boat handling perspective, it could pay dividends.
Yeah, but I think, Tech 2's made the job easy for themselves.
I agree. I mean, Tech 2 are not too close to the mark, but they should be able to set themselves up with a comfy lay.
That's right.
But the right to left tide, every time we look up here, it looks like they've overlaid. I think you're right.
These guys are just cracked. It doesn't actually hurt much because of the VMG curve's pretty flat. Bow down, the VMG goes down very little.
But it's the next manoeuvre, isn't it, that is the worry. It's the fact you have to tack followed by a bearaway.
Yep.
You just don't want to be tacking on the mark. Or just ignore the mark and sail past it. I think today, right now, in the next 30 seconds, is going to decide who the winner of this race is. URM off the right of your picture, they've tacked, they've chosen where they reckon the lay is. Jack McCartney on Tech 2 is about to tack and go round this mark. It is all about the bearaways and the sets. Here goes Tech 2. It's a windy tack. They were quite conservative just to set up for the tack. Jack McCartney's going to want forward boat speed before he even thinks about bearing away here. Tech 2 are the first to go for it. They're down speed, but they're going for the bearaway. No hesitation at all. Quite a ballsy call by Jack McCartney. And he's got the skills to do it. He's got the boat away. The bow is down. Really nicely done. URM go on the inside of Smeg. They got all that extra forward boat speed. Should make it easier, but Marcus just managing to find a gust when he didn't want it. He's gone full bow down. I think he's going to get away with this. I think he's under control just enough. He takes Smeg wide.
Living dangerously, it's called.
Living dangerously. URM's setup was really nice there. They just got a puff at the wrong moment. Didn't quite let the jib go, I think, fast enough. But in the end, they recovered. Great recovery job. But that's given Tech 2 a little bit of breathing space. In first place, top of your picture, Tech 2, followed by URM, followed by Smeg. All three getting away with this. Good skills and a challenging day. Behind them, it's still Shaw and Partners. Look like they'll be next around in fourth. Then it'll probably be Appliances Online, followed by Rawlook and Kitchen Maker. But we're going to stay with the top three. There is still everything to play for here. It's going to get bumpy and gnarly at the jibe point, coming up in about 1 minute's time. We're going to see who's got the ability, get through the jibe at the right point, and in a perfect world, Bucko, they'd want to try and lay this in one if they could. Just not sure if they're going to get far enough down to do a one jibe to finish here.
Well, they'll try and go to the smooth water at Bradley's Head, which is also the best wind, more or less, provided they get onto this shore.
And if they do, is it possibly layable from there to the finish?
Very close. But one more jibe in the rough water down the bottom.
Yeah, so there's at least two jibes. Very hard to see this is a one jibing in, as the yachtsmen call it, one to the finish. But probably two jibes to come.
Correct.
Anyway, this is full noise on Smeg and full noise on URM. And in the other side of them, just that you can't see right now, is Tech 2, but this is the drone shot flying in front. That's about the fastest the drone could go, I think. We're doing 20 plus knots. That's about 45 kilometers an hour. But the drone doing a nice job. John O'Witty, our pilot, getting it up and close as you possibly can. That's the way we want to see drones being flown and cameras being shown. Something for SailGP to think about, I think. There's no one better than Aeromedia at showing you how to get a drone shot on Sydney Harbour. This is drone flying at the highest level, and skiff sailing also at the highest level as well. Here goes URM keeping it together. They're starting to think about the jibe now. And Bucko, are we going to see conservative technique here, or they're just going to launch it?
No, I think, like I said, I'd be
Smeg going for the jibe there.
Smeg early, not conservative. Beautiful jibe.
URM doing the same.
Really nicely done, conservative, but they got away with that with no problem. Same with URM, we've got a tear in the spinnaker on URM. Just look on the bottom of that spinnaker near the clue. You might see it a long way away. I don't think that's going to burst, but that is not going to help their cause. Smeg and URM sail out into the middle of the harbour. Tech 2, your leader, has just jibed, also successfully. We're close up behind them. We're going to give you a nice close shot in a second. But all our three leading boats have jibed cleanly. There's at least one more jibe to come, and the roughest of the water, where all the capsizes happen, is coming upon them awfully soon.
Fantastic action here, Tech 2. Just about on the ley line. They won't lay, they will have to do another jibe, but in the strongest wind at Bradley's Head. Fantastic.
Okay, they only need a couple of degree down pressure here. They're close to laying the finish boat. I can see it in the distance.
But Jimmy, you just get the feeling that somehow inevitably there's another jibe coming here.
Yeah.
No, there always is, isn't there? When you don't want there to be one, there just always is.
The breeze squares them up a little bit as they go here.
Look at them bouncing around. We're now in the bumpy stuff. This is where the other boats capsize, and the last one on the way down. It just gets very, very lumpy with a cross sea caused by passing motorboats. But at the moment, our top three are all upright. We're all eyes on Tech 2. Our leader, fantastic performance so far from Tech 2. Can they bring it home? There's about another 2 minutes sailing to go. This would be a fantastic victory for Tech 2. The leader in our series overall. They got a third in the first race. They're heading for a bullet in this second race. But inside them and behind them, they are being kept well and truly honest by URM and by Smeg. Smeg has now put a jibe in to come across the other side of the harbour. Nice jibe, they're still pointing the right way. URM continuing to shadow Tech 2, about 15 boat lengths behind and a couple up to windward. Just another minute and a half sailing at these kind of speeds to get into the finish. But there is definitely a jibe to come, and there is a nasty seaway. This is your highest percentage chance of a boat handling problem.
No, these guys are pretty good at the safety job.
You'd think, wouldn't you? Tech 2 looking good. We're about to see where the boat handling skills are. Sydney Harbour lit up behind them.
Okay. Not okay. Just having a look, James.
Ley line, well, still another few seconds to go, but Jack's looking under the boom, trying to keep a good eye on it. There's a bit of a seaway here as well. There's passing spectator boats. Our own spectator ferry is not a million miles away. Well, you can see us in the shot. We're just off his hip. We won't cause them any trouble. But there is definitely a jibe. They will not lay in one here. Great job by Tech 2. This is the small rig. I talked briefly with Jack before the race. He said they haven't seen the little rig much, but they're pretty confident it's going to work. He's got exactly the same setup he's had on a previous skip with the little rig, and he was very confident this was going to be a fast setup. But very briefly, Bucko, on his performance, to me, it's not been really about pure straight line speed. It's just been an all-round performance based on good strategy and top boat handling.
Yeah, and they've been accurate. Their lay lines have been good. They haven't taken too much risk.
Here's our leader about to cross, sorry to cut you off there, Bucko, about to cross the line. Tech 2 coming out of the far side is Smeg, who's got the lay line wrong. We'll get on to them in a second. This is what Tech 2 crossed the line. They win the race, second race of today. Congratulations, Tech 2. Awesome performance from our overall leader of the Australian Championships. Great job by Jack McCartney. But let's look behind us. We've got Smeg coming in here at full noise with URM. It's a port starboard as well. URM on port, but they're going to cross the line,
starboard,
clear ahead of Smeg. Smeg went just too far on the lay line. That's caused them a bit of grief. Without that, they would have been fully bow to bow. A little trip at the end, but they cross the line. That is also a great all-round boat handling performance by Marcus and his team, closely followed by Smeg. We always knew they'd come good when they got fresh. Well, they kept the other two very honest.
Some pretty good sailing, but the cream rises to the top, and we did note, I think, you know, that the Tech 2 guys, Jack McCartney, Charlie White and Trent Barnabas, very, very solid.
They did look solid and not slow at any point. Good upwind, good downwind, and also good starts from all the leading group. Of course, started well. Tech 2 rock solid all day. That's exactly the kind of performance that Jack McCartney will want. Lead up 3 weeks to go to the JJ, as we keep reminding you, but that is in all their minds. There's no question that this is the Australian Championship. You want to have that, your name on the trophy if you can, but mostly you're just thinking about what can you do to optimise for the JJ. So that was James Doran crossing the line in fourth, and Kitchen Maker. That Kitchen Maker been a little bit off the scoreboard the last couple of months. Today, a bit of a return to form, right up with the leading group. Nice job by the Kitchen Maker. Jimmy, what's caused today? Is Kitchen Maker back on it, and they've not had a great few weeks, have they?
Well, we haven't had a lot of time on these little rigs, Mark, and you know, the Kitchen Maker I'd always pin as one of the lightest crew, and they seem to have done very well today. So, yeah, I think they got their number 2 rig on song, so if I was them, don't touch it, don't pull the spanners out, get to work on your big rig.
So yeah, little rig good, but work to do on the bigger rig possibly, but a nice performance by Kitchen Maker. Next across, where you saw Royal Oak, and there's the Planters Online going over now. We've got a pretty massive cruise liner, the good ship Carnival Splendor. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and suggest they haven't sold all the tickets for that boat that they wanted to. Bucko, do you want to take
problem with cruise ships?
Bucko, there's a spare cabin. Do you want to jump on board for a couple of days? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that one's going. I'm not aware.
Straight to Wuhan.
That one.
Going to the cleaners. Going to have a full hermetic is what I've heard.
Shanghai.
Here comes the rag and famish, smoking into the finish.
Right, here comes the rag. We're almost, our runners and riders are almost there. I've got a couple of boats up the racetrack, the ones that actually capsized on the first leg. They're having to play catch up now. There's Rag and Famish. They kept it upright the whole way through. So look, thank you everyone for watching and listening today, whether you were live, recorded, wherever you were. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a great time on the harbour. I'm hoping this is the sign of what's going to come with the JJ just 3 weeks away. Great conditions, race management, top dog, and as ever the camera cat doing our best to bring you the pictures and the insights that matter. Thank you to our producers. Producer is John O'Witty, also the owner of Aero Media, and our drone pilot, and to our director Michael Chittenden and all his helpers on the side, and Jimmy Veery, great driving mate, thank you so much. Give us the right place. And Bucko, as ever, nothing but a pleasure hanging with you for a few hours wherever you are in the rest of the world. I hope you enjoyed today. Tune in next Sunday for another race, just a few weeks to go till the JJ. I hope you enjoyed today, but for now, from Sydney Harbour, my name's Mark Healy. Enjoyed spending time with you. Good day from us.